Did you ever think the quiet countryside of New South Wales could be hiding some of the most dramatic, high-stakes racing moments in Australia? Well, buckle up, because today we're diving into a whirlwind of upcoming cups, record-breaking performances, surprise stars, and even a heart-melting retirement story that will leave you smiling long after this video ends. From Maitland to Richmond, from the Gardens to Casino, the Greyhound world is buzzing, and what's happening behind the scenes might surprise you even more than what happens on the track. So stick with me, because the next few minutes will take you across the state, introduce you to some of the most impressive trainers of the year, and end with a story that proves that a racing greyhound's journey doesn't always stop at the finish line. Let's jump right in. As anticipation builds across the Northeast racing community, all eyes are turning toward Maitland. The Group 2 East Maitland Bowling Club Maitland Cup, one of the state's most respected one-turn features, is almost here. Heats are set for Thursday, November 27th, and only the fastest will qualify for the grand final on December 5th, where $40,000 sits waiting for the dog that can outpace the rest. Fans and trainers know this track doesn't forgive mistakes. Every stride matters. Every fraction of a second counts. You can already feel the pressure simmering among trainers preparing their runners, tweaking diets, adjusting training schedules, and hoping their greyhound peaks exactly when it needs to. This isn't just another race. For many kennels, it's a chance to stamp their name into New England racing history. But while the on-track battles heat up, there's a major conversation happening off the track too. Greyhound Racing NSW has just made its submission to the Western Australian Inquiry into the future of the greyhound industry. And the message they delivered? Clear, confident, and unwavering. They strongly support the continuation and growth of greyhound racing in WA, praising the integrated governance model handled by Racing and Wagering Western Australia. Their submission drew on years of lessons learned in NSW, national insights, and data that highlights the industry's economic value, its improvements in welfare standards, and its deep-rooted community connections. With the inquiry launched in September and submissions closing on November 17, GRNSW's contribution arrived at a pivotal moment. And while that discussion continues, there's another event capturing attention, one that's new, glitzy, exclusive, and already becoming a hot topic. The inaugural GRNSW Puppy Classic is set for November 28 at Richmond, and this one is strictly for young greyhounds sold at the 2024 GRNSW Puppy Auction. The stakes? A massive $150,000 to the winner of the final. With numbers like that, you can imagine how competitive this debut edition is going to be. Hunters and fans are already drawing comparisons to past champions of major puppy events. Names like Black Magic Opal, Paw Licking, and Aussie Infrared. Legends that started young and went on to dominate. Who will rise this year? The excitement is real. Speaking of rising, some trainers don't just rise, they explode into form. And Mid-North Coast trainer Rebecca Scott just delivered one of those weeks you almost never see. She took 4 greyhounds to Ladbrokes Gardens, and guess what? She walked away with 4 wins: Sunburnt Keeper, Modest Man, Star, and Ice on Fire. Each one crossed the finish line first, but she wasn't done. Add 5 more wins across her other starts at both the Gardens and Taree, and Rebecca finished the week with 9 winners and 3 seconds from just 17 runners. That kind of strike rate is almost unreal. When a kennel hits that level of momentum, the entire racing scene takes notice. But if consistency is impressive, then pure once-in-a-lifetime success is something else entirely. Northern Rivers trainer Mick Landrigan is in the middle of what he openly calls the best year of his entire career. And honestly, it's not hard to see why. Last week, he captured the Group 3 Casino Cup with McKeon, while his only other 2 greyhounds, Heroic Federer and Apache Tiger, finished 3rd and 5th. Let that sink in. He has just 3 dogs in work, and all 3 are competing at a level most trainers dream about. He admitted it himself. Usually you're lucky to have one good dog in the kennel, but three at the same time? That's rare magic. And it's been a year of magic for Landrigan beyond the Casino Cup. Earlier in April, McKeon also claimed the iconic Jack Somerville Northern Rivers Cup at Casino, further cementing this dog's status as a genuine star. When you consider how small Landrigan's team is, each achievement feels even bigger. It's the kind of story that reminds you why people fall in love with this sport. The underdog trainer who refuses to be overshadowed by big kennels or larger operations. Every victory feels personal, hard-earned, and deeply meaningful. Still, Greyhound racing isn't only about big wins and major prize money. Behind every race dog is a life that continues long after their last run. And that brings us to a story that warms the heart as much as any trophy could. Meet Ginger, a former racing greyhound, whose second career may be even more impactful than her first. After the end of live dog racing at the Birmingham Racecourse, Ginger was adopted and trained as a therapy dog. Each week, she visited the Gadsden Public Library, where children practiced reading aloud to her. For those kids, Ginger wasn't just a dog. She was a patient listener, a calming presence, and a gentle confidence builder. Children who were shy, anxious, or struggling with reading found comfort in her soft eyes and quiet patience. Ginger never judged a mispronounced word or a slow sentence. She simply listened, and that simple act transformed learning into something safe and joyful. Now, as she officially retires from her therapy work, her legacy extends far beyond any racetrack. She helped kids find their voice. So from upcoming cups in Maitland and Richmond, to powerhouse trainers like Rebecca Scott and Mick Landrigan, to the policy fights shaping the future of the sport, and finally to Ginger's beautiful retirement. The world of greyhound racing is full of stories, some thrilling, some inspiring, some downright heartwarming. Whether you follow the sport for the competition, the community, or the canine athletes themselves, there's no denying it's a world full of emotion and passion. If you enjoyed this journey through the latest stories, make sure to stay tuned, because the next few weeks promise even more action, more surprises, and maybe even the next great greyhound legend in the making.